Okay, here's a photo. You were asking about how to change the sky. One of the things that I use, especially for skies, is this graduated filter right here on the right side, right here. Um, you could use the brush also. You could brush all of this, but the, for skies especially, just use the graduated filter, bring it down, and you see how dark this is? Whenever I use the brush or a graduated filter or something, I always set the exposure all the way down. That way, it darkens whatever I'm putting that filter over, and I can see what it's affecting. That's why I lower the exposure all the way down. Then I use the filter, right? And now, see, the filter is affecting the house, the trees, everything. It's affecting everything. We don't want that. So I come down here to range mask, and instead of off, I go color, and it brings up this little eyedropper right here. And when you select the eyedropper, and you bring it up into the sky, and you draw a box. You click, hold, draw a box that contains, a good portion of the sky here. That is going to select the sky, and it's going to deselect all these trees. It's deselected the house. As you can see, if I undo that, the house is dark. Once I draw that box, the house is no longer being affected by the mask. So at that point, I can come back up here and I can reset the exposure to normal. Now I can lower the exposure a little bit to bring out the sky a little. I can dehaze, to bring up the clouds, maybe a little more texture, a little more clarity. And then you can do whatever you want. You can go crazy blue, you can dull it down, you can make it, you can warm it up, make it gray. You can change the tint, by pulling it either direction that way. You can even come down here to hue, and you can really screw with it and do really crazy kinds of stuff, And here's another thing: you can always change your mask. Let's say, oh, this looks really cool, but it's not affecting enough of the sky down here. Like it's kind of washing out right here. It's not affecting what's down here. So you can come back to your range mask and make sure you select your eyedropper. And now if I shift and I add, I can add these colors in, and that should add it to the mask so that it but the other thing is this mask might just be too high up. If I bring it down further, now it's affecting this area, and it brings this tone even down further. But it's not affecting the trees. It's not affecting. Obviously, I've pushed this way too far because you can see that the trees are all outlined. You wouldn't want to mess with it quite that much. But one of the things you can do to negate this tree look here is also you can do the amount of the mask. So if I lessen the amount of the mask, it's going to really show those trees are messed up. If I push the mask forward a little bit, up to like 80, 90, it's going to feather that mask around those trees. So it gives it more of a natural look.